If you were fortunate enough to be around during the new rave explosion, bands such as Klaxons will be known names to your ears. Now, with the release of their new album, Love Frequency, 7 years on from their debut album, Myths of the Near Future, we'll be talking to the band about the transition over the years from new rave to house music, who they've been working on with their new album and their upcoming tour, and what the future holds now for the band. See you after the break. Hi, welcome to Adam Talks Food, and this week we are talking South Africa, and we've got Claire with us. Hi, Claire.
Hi.
Hi.
Adam.
So Claire Brown, yeah?
Yep.
Your last name, much
Yep.
like the brown cow, South African drink.
Yes, much like brown cow.
Coke and milk mixed together.
Yep, that's mother's
Do you
milk
like-
when we were brought up.
You like it?
Yeah, of
I
course.
heard it's a great hangover cure.
Of course, all that sugar that like
Yeah.
seeps through your body and like
Yeah,
just gets
well,
rid of the alcohol.
And the milk settles the stomach and
Yeah.
whatnot. Yeah, great. Cool. So, Biltong.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Of course.
No? Yeah? Know
Yeah.
much about it? Have you ever made it?
Of course I have.
Yeah, you've got friends who, it's dried out, so it's similar to beef jerky.
Yeah, it's just like a cured meat. So
Yeah.
you just hang it up in a cupboard and have a fan going and it
Okay.
just dries it out. So
Is it mainly beef?
beef, ostrich, springbok,
Okay.
earlines.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that brings me on to meat eaters. I mean, you're massive meat eaters in South Africa. So
Yeah.
yeah, everyone's pretty much a meat eater. Do you know any vegetarians or vegans?
Yeah, I do, but 10 to 1 they've actually immigrated to the country. 'Cause-
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So do you eat many vegetables yourself?
Not very many, if I have to be completely
No,
honest. Yeah,
yeah.
I generally put like a barbecue spice on the vegetable if I
Yeah.
have to eat it.
Yeah. So summer's coming up. Talking about barbecues.
Yeah.
Have you having many barbecues?
Yeah, no, I love barbecues.
A lot of
We-
barbecues in your household?
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a barbecue sitting right outside, or a braai, as us South Africans
Oh,
call
okay.
it.
Great.
Yeah.
So what are you going to be siphoning on there this summer?
Chicken boerewors,
Yeah,
steaks.
boerewors.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice,
Even
nice.
mealie cobs.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any particular types of meat that you've eaten that are kind of bizarre, kind of pushing it out there, weird ones?
I've done crocodile.
Yeah. Yeah. So have I. It's
Yeah.
chewy.
It's a bit chewy and
Yeah.
it's a bit salty.
Yeah. Everyone says everything tastes like chicken anyway, but
Yeah, not that
it's
way.
not very much like chicken.
No.
Kind of like monkfish.
Yeah, a bit like that. A bit
Yeah.
like that,
It's chewy and it's weird. So are you gonna put anything like that on your barbecue this summer?
Well, apparently they sell kangaroo down in the Borough Market, so I thought maybe
Yeah.
I'd try that.
Yeah. There's actually a place in Kingston that sell crocodile burgers, ostrich burgers, all sorts of stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
And ostrich is a really lean meat, so it's very good for you.
Mm.
So I find like over here they do a lot of turkey, whereas back home we do a lot of ostrich substitute for chicken.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. So diets. I mean, a lot of meat eating, you're gonna feel a bit bloated. You know, it's not great for you, all that red meat. So diet's very popular in South Africa.
Yeah, they are, because generally just about anybody that you speak to is in the gym. We know that we drink a lot of beer, a lot of red meats and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we do generally try and keep it to weekends.
Keep
do
yourself
the healthy thing.
feeling
the rest
healthy
of the
throughout
time,
the week, yeah, and then just go wild on the weekend.
Yeah,
It's all about people who work on weekends.
exactly. Go big or go home.
Then they go full on Monday to Friday. Okay. So yeah, I mean, okay, I'm going to ask you this question here. If you were to have one last meal, this would be the last meal you're ever going to eat,
Yeah,
what would it be?
Mampani worm.
Pardon?
Mampani worm.
And what's that?
It's a little larva that has been dried out. So it's another South African.
That would be your last meal, a worm?
Yeah, because I've never tried it.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So the last thing you'll ever eat in your entire life will be a worm.
Yeah, because then they can eat me.
Okay, well, that's on that bombshell. Fantastic. Next week we'll be talking Mexico, love, life, tacos, and tequila with my friend Juan Santiago. It's going to be very, very sexy. I'll see you next week.
Ciao. So far.
So it is
So, welcome back. Today in the studio, we're going to be talking about tattoos, cooking, and comedy. We have a guy in the studio who is a tattoo artist, a chef, and a comedy writer. These three fusions coming together in one person. So, Adam, you got to elaborate how this all came about.
I'm just a man of the world.
Really?
Yeah, I get about.
Excellent.
Rock and roll is dead is a phrase that's been thrown around for years. But with the influx of new guitar bands and Arctic Monkeys claiming Best Band and Best Album at this year's Brit Awards, followed by frontman Alex Turner's Rock and Roll Will Never Die speech, it begs the question, will rock music once again take over the airwaves? I went down to Banquet Records in Kingston and I spoke to owner John Tolley to find out more. Thinking back to 5-6 years ago, Antipodean-style cafes were few and far between. But over the last few years, they've truly evolved. They're picking up in places all over London, mainly Hackney, Shoreditch and Farringdon. All these cafes offer the similar type of environment and the same kind of vibe, which is a very friendly service, great coffee, amazing ingredients, and of course, awesome baked goods such as Anzac biscuits and Lamingtons, New Zealand and Kiwi favourites. I'm going to take to the streets to find out what the British public actually want to have for breakfast. If they want to go to a greasy British style cafe, if they want to go to a nice independent cafe, or they want to go to a high street chain. Thinking back to 5-6 years ago, Antipodean-style cafes were few and far between. Over the past few years, they've picked up everywhere. They're in places like Shoreditch, Hackney and Farringdon. They've got a certain kind of style that people really enjoy, and that is a friendly service, that's great coffee, that's great food, fresh ingredients, and Aussie baked goods such as Lamingtons and Anzac biscuits. I'm going out to the streets of London to find out what people actually want to eat for breakfast. If they want to go to a greasy cafe, if they want to go to a high street coffee store, if they want to go to an independent cafe.
Okay, go. Stand nice and still, nice and relaxed from the waist up. Here we go, in 3, 2...
When most people think of street food, they think of hustle and bustle of New York City, Los Angeles, and Asia. But London's really been hit hard by the food craze, and now...
That was going... And 3, 2...
When you think of street food, you usually think of LA or... When most people think of street food, they think of LA, New York City, or the hustle and bustle of Asian food markets. But now it's really hit London by storm. So much so that Marco Pierre White started his own event to celebrate the... Hey, it's going.
No pun intended.
Uh-huh.
Okay, in...
When most people think of street food, they think of LA, New York City, and the hustle and bustle of Asia. But now London's really been hit hard by the food craze, the street food phenomenon. And now, so much so that Marco Pierre White started his own British Street Food Awards ceremony to host and celebrate the culinary
relax along the way. Here we go.
The British Street Food Awards. All right,
Chatting
cool.
to your best friend. That's all you're doing. 2, 1.
When most people think of street food, they think of LA, the hustle and bustle of busy Asian markets, and New York City. But it's taken London by storm recently, so much so that Marco Pierre White started his own British Street Food Awards ceremony, celebrating the culinary arts of street food. This fresh and vibrant way of making food has become really, really popular. And I'm going to take to the streets to find out if people want to ditch the restaurants in search of good street food.
Cut. Here we go, mate.
Cool.
In 3, 2.
When most people think of street food, they think of the hustle and bustle of Asian food markets, New York City and LA. But it's recently hit London by storm. So much so that Marco Pierre White has started the Great British Street Food Awards to host the culinary arts of this type of food. I'm now here in a street food market to find out why people are ditching the restaurants in search of street food.
Cut. That was all. And in your own time.
And that's it from us this week. Next week, we're talking about festival season as it's nearly upon us. We've got... Cool.
Okay, you look like you've given up. Okay, here we go. Standing by,
And that's it from us this weekend. Whatever. Cool. And that's it from us this week. Next week, we're talking festivals as the season is nearly upon us once again. We're going to find out if the British public still have a place in their hearts for that muddy, drunken madness that is a British festival. Our friend James went out to the streets of Camden next week to find out more.
yeah, well, that's good.
Cool.
Standing by, and in 3, 2.
And that's it from us this week. Next week, we're talking festivals as the season is nearly once again upon us. I've gone out to the British public to find out if they still have a place in their hearts for that muddy, drunken madness that is a British festival. We'll find out more next week. Thank you. Cool.
Standing by. In 3, 2.
And that's it from us again this week. Next week, we're talking about festivals as the season once again is nearly upon us. Our friend James is going out to the streets of Camden to find out if the British public still have a place in their hearts for that muddy, drunken madness that is a festival. Thank you very much.